What's up, everybody? Tyson Roush, Let's Talk Jets. Hope everybody's having an excellent day. This video has nothing to do with the New York Jets or the NFL. It's completely off topic. So if you're looking for that kind of content, please check out the rest of our channel. As most of you know by now, I'm a big mental health advocate. I like to openly discuss anxiety and depression and other things people are dealing with, as I feel like far too many people are suffering in silence. And help is just a text, an email, a conversation away where things can potentially get better sooner rather than later. So if I can use this platform to help raise awareness, it's kind of what I like to do. Right now we're in a holiday season where it's a very festive time of year. Everywhere you look, there's a lot of happiness. You go in the stores, you see it on TV, social media, a lot of happiness. Everybody's looking forward to spending time with family and friends, eating and drinking, do all these different things. And unfortunately, there's a part of our society that doesn't have that same happiness. And the holiday season is actually the opposite. It's a time of sadness. It's a time of sadness, a time of loneliness, and it can be very, very gray. It can be very, very dark. It can be very, very challenging. So, first thing I want to say is, listen, you're not alone, man. You're not. At times like this, you can feel like you're in a world by yourself and nobody either understands or nobody's there for you, and it could not be further from the truth. We're all in this together, and help is all around you. Sometimes you just have to just ask for it or look for it and reach out and get it. But the first thing is, as the rest of us, all of us, just try to be better people, man, and reach out to everybody. Like in times like this, we're on our phones all day long. A quick text, hey man, how you doing? A quick whatever, a quick phone call. Hey bro, I haven't talked to you in a while. How you doing? These conversations can go a really long way, where it could initiate a conversation and give somebody that glimmer of hope they need, or the glimmer of faith they need to turn things around or get the help they need. So I think being proactive with your friends and family is really a good thing. And what's the worst thing that could happen? They say, you know what, they don't answer or whatever, but it's a positive, man. I wish more people would do that. I try my best to do that all the time. And I can tell you, I live by myself. There's times where I get messages, I'm like, yeah, it's pretty cool, man. I appreciate you looking out for me. I'm doing good, but I appreciate it. So I think and the thing with anxiety and depression, I think one thing we've all learned over the last decade or so is that you never know who's dealing with it. You honestly have no idea. And that becomes more apparent when you see these suicides come out of nowhere. You're like, how did that happen? He always looks so happy in public. I tell you when I do these videos, unfortunately, I have a series of friends that have done this, and it blindsides you, and you honestly can't believe it. And two of them that come to mind instantly, three actually, are probably the happiest people I know, that I genuinely look forward to seeing them all the time. And then you couldn't fathom it. You genuinely couldn't fathom. I cannot believe they had that sense of happiness inside of them, that sense of just they've given up, where they brought so many smiles and so much happiness to so many people. So now I guess my message with that is, don't assume that everybody is good and everybody's great. Reaching out to somebody saying, hey, we haven't talked in a while, how you doing, what's up, need anything, especially those that may not be around loved ones this time of year. Maybe they're working a lot, or maybe they recently lost a loved one, which is very, very difficult as well. Reaching out it costs you nothing, and it can only help and be a positive thing. So on the opposite side of that, if you're in this time of year where you find yourself in a dark place, or you're really, really struggling, I can relate to you. Can 1,000% relate to this. And the first thing I got to tell you is, for me, what's helped me the most is to unplug from a lot of things. I know that you got to identify what your triggers are. What genuinely makes you unhappy? What makes you feel that sadness and darkness? And obviously, anxiety and depression are a lot different than having a bad day. You fall down the steps, you trip over a curb, you fall on the ice, whatever. That's a bad day. Anxiety and depression is a state of mind where it overcomes your body, your mind, where you don't want to leave the house, or you don't want to talk to anybody. You don't want to do much. You are just stuck in your own head, and you can't get out of it, and you don't understand a lot of things, and everything seems like it's against you, where it's like you just can't find the positives in things. And that's just the way it is. So for me, one of the things I mentioned earlier was I've learned to unplug from a lot of things, especially social media. This time of year it's a show me time of year, where everybody's showing all these things and whatever they're doing. And honestly, I'm happy for everybody. I'm genuinely happy for everybody that has success and has a lot of happiness. I think it's awesome. Me personally, I just kind of remove it from you know what? Just doesn't, I need to stay in my own little world here and focus on my personal day-to-day basis to keep myself moving forward in a good direction. So unplugging from social media, maybe you don't want to watch the news all the time and see all the crazy stuff going on in this world. You know what? I'm going to skip the news for a little while. I like to stay educated what's going on, but you know what? watch a few minutes and then move on your way. So social media, the news, what's really saved me the most, well, there's a couple of things, but what's big is keep yourself active mentally and physically. And that's really, really important. For me, running has become my therapy. I mean, I kickbox and box as well, but running is my escape from the world, where I genuinely, it's just, you throw on your earbuds, and you just run and like, just breathe, get fresh air in your lungs, just release those toxins, just feel better about yourself, get a good sweat up. You're like, all right, this moment I'm having right now, I'm gonna just get rid of it, and you regroup a little bit. Or it could just be a walk, go on a hike, do things like that. And I understand it's cold. I mean, I just did a 10K in 40-degree weather, but it's just getting out and doing things. Go to a gym, the gyms, or if you're not into like, physical fitness, find other hobbies that you do enjoy that you can get actively involved in. Like I mentioned, like people play guitar, the drums. If you're involved in building something, you like to build things. Like take on these personal projects that mentally and physically challenge you a little bit, where you can become all encompassed in it and kind of like remove your mind from the struggles that you have, which is really, really important to do. The other thing you could do is, so you have, you can just social media first thing. Second thing is mental and physical activities. Your third thing is probably the most courageous thing you're going to do is admit that you have a problem, or admit that you're struggling, not a problem, admit that you're struggling, and ask for help and make that conversation happen. And it's not an easy thing to do, to say to somebody, hey, you know what? I know you're doing all this, but I'm kind of struggling a little bit right now. I can't really see what's going on. I can't understand these feelings I have inside of me, and I just don't know where to turn, and have that conversation. Now, you could be scared to do it with your family members, which is understandable, because like there's that sense of embarrassment. We're like, oh man, and the thing is, it's not weakness. Like, don't consider, if you're dealing with anxiety or depression or any kind of bipolar disorder, this isn't a weakness, right? It's not, nobody's gonna frown upon you. Nobody's gonna look down upon you. It's something that you're dealing with that you can get help for. So don't be embarrassed by it. And what you're gonna realize is when you have these conversations, people are willing to help. Now, if you don't want to deal with family and friends, there's all kinds of online communities. There's numbers you can text, numbers you can call. They're all anonymous, where you can get the help you need. You can actually have, you can text people, they text you back, give you some insight. There's therapists. If you want to get professional help, talk to a therapist, do that. But have the conversation. Take that step to say, you know what? I'm really struggling. I don't want to struggle. I want to get some kind of answer. Now, the remedy it's not going to be immediate sometimes. Sometimes it will give you just that little momentum you need to get out of that funk, or that state of mind. And then sometimes it takes a little bit longer, but it's progress. And the one thing you're gonna realize is that when you have this conversation, people can relate to you. They're gonna be like, you know what? I had the same thing, or I know somebody is dealing with this. This is how they got answers, or they got help. And that's the most important thing. It's like, don't think the world's against you. The world's gonna help you. People around you want to help you. And a lot of times in situations like this, they don't know that you're struggling. So, for me personally, I live a pretty public lifestyle. I have, I'm on YouTube. I teach in a school. I'm all over the place. People have no idea. Like, hey, you know what they have no idea what I'm dealing with. So don't assume people are going to know what you're going through, or they're going to analyze your mannerisms. Sometimes it's more apparent than others. If you're usually kind of jovial and you're kind of like really down and out for a period of time, people may notice then. But a lot of times people don't notice it. So until you speak up, then they'll be able to help you. And then, like I said, most 9 out of 10 times, they're going to be willing to help you. If in that rare chance that you reach out to somebody, they don't help you, don't give up. Find somebody else. Like, you've got to make this commitment to yourself to get the help that you need, and you can't quit on it. Like, you can't be like, well, that was it, I tried. No, this is for your personal progress, for your personal development and growth, to get out of what you're dealing with and find ways to cope and handle what you're dealing with. And it's really, really important. That's the most important thing. It's just like, understand that you're not alone. There are so many people that deal with this, and some people have more success than others, but we all fight it every day and try ways to get through it. Like I said, I'm an enormous Killswitch Engage fan. Jesse Leach has been posting videos almost every other day discussing the same thing. Brent Smith from Shinedown, Jacoby Shaddix from Papa Roach, Sully Erna from Godsmack. So many bands. The lead singer of Disturbed. So many bands are openly talking about the struggles they're having, how they can handle things, how they can get better, how they want to get better, or things they can do to get better. So you're not alone, man. It affects everybody, and you cannot give up. You got to keep fighting through it and finding answers. And like I said, for me, there's times where things are going great. And I've had a patch for the last 6 weeks has been miserable. And you wake up and you're like, all right, how are you going to deal with this today? Like, how do you get through these days? And you just got to fight for yourself. And you get like, all right, I got to overcome this. I got to figure it out. I got to find ways. And for me, a lot of it's been running, working out. I mean, YouTube's been a big thing. A lot of times I go down rabbit holes on YouTube, watching videos, listening to music. You can go on Netflix, watch a series, just do things to just help your mind escape these feelings that you're having and find ways to kind of reset a little bit. So again, I know it's a really tough time of year for a lot of people, and it's just, you could see it. I know somebody's actually reached out to me personally and talked about something they're dealing with, and I'm like, I get it, man. I completely get it. Especially there's times now where you're celebrating the holidays for the first time without one of your loved ones, and it gives you a big hole in your heart and a lot of sadness. Can understand that as well, but you got to keep moving forward. And the one thing I'll say, I know it's not easy. Like, I don't make these videos trying to discount anybody. I'm like, oh, just do this, do that. It's easy. It's not. I deal with it. I know it's not easy. But the one thing I do know is you got to keep fighting through it. And I do it all the time. Like, all right, we got this. There's so many great things in this world to enjoy. There's so many like every day is literally a new opportunity to do something great. It is, or something better, or to improve. And you got to remember that. You can't just keep dwelling. And the problem with, if you don't get the help you need, don't ask for the help, you kind of let yourself fall into these patterns, it's going to be a day, a week, a month, and you're losing so much precious time. Where that conversation or that email or that text could start triggering a chain of events to make a difference much sooner rather than later. So I probably rambled a little bit. I get so sidetracked. I have so many thoughts in my head I want to share, and I forget what I already said. But I just want to say, listen, man, or woman, just stick with it, man. Just you are not alone. You're important to this world. This world needs you. Do not give up ever. You cannot give up. That's just not an option. So find ways to help yourself and use any resource you can to figure it out. And the last thing I will tell you is this, is that drinking and drugs, I mean, obviously medication to get help from a therapist or doctor is one thing. Drinking and drugs is not the answer. And what the thing with that is that if you use those things to kind of numb your mind or kind of offset your sadness or your feelings of darkness or whatever, it actually makes things worse, because you wake up, you feel terrible, and then you have, not only do you have the feelings inside that you had initially, now you have the aftermath of whatever you did, the coming down from whatever you did. It's almost worse, right? And that's not a crutch you want to use. It's not. I mean, I've been there, done it. It's not. You literally feel 10 times worse about things. It's just, the way to get help is to talk about it. Like I said, speak to somebody, get insight, get support, and try to, I mean, obviously therapy, medicine, one thing, doing this other, stuff, not the answer. So use your resources, find a way. If you have anything, I mean, I'm not a professional. If you want to add comments or share some thoughts, go for it. I always get direct messages from people, and I do my best to share what my experiences are. And then after that, it's like, hey man, talk to a professional or talk to your family member, talk to somebody close to you. Maybe they can help you better than I can. I'm willing to help, but just, we'll figure it out together, man. We're all in this together. So that's it. So with that being said, I hope everybody genuinely has a great holiday to the best you can, and a happy, healthy new year. And just don't forget that every day is an opportunity. It is. Don't let time pass you by. Just maximize your moments. Have a good day.